Vietnam, where dragons sleep and cities roar. In the heart of Southeast Asia, where emerald rivers carve through jade mountains and cities hum with the restless energy of a nation reborn, Vietnam stands as a paradox. A land where dragons sleep in ancient myths, yet roar through modern ambition. From the misty peaks of Sapa to the neon-lit streets of Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam is a tapestry of resilience, beauty, and defiance. Its story is not just one of survival, but of a relentless climb toward greatness, a phoenix rising from the ashes of war, now navigating the turbulent waters of global trade, regional tensions, and a sustainable future. This is Vietnam 2025, a nation of 100 million souls, where the past whispers in pagodas and the future pulses in factories. Here, U.S. tariffs cast long shadows over export dreams. Cambodia-Thailand conflicts ripple across borders, and the shift from gasoline to electric vehicles signals a green revolution. Yet Vietnam's allure, its breathtaking landscapes, vibrant cuisine, and bold infrastructure, beckons the world. Can this dragon balance its fiery ascent with the weight of global challenges? Join Around the Globe PHU as we dive into a 30,000-word odyssey, a tale of grit, glory, and gastronomy that will ignite your wanderlust and redefine what it means to dream big. Comment below. What stirs Vietnam's soul? Its history, its hustle, or its heart? The tariff tempest, a geopolitical gambit, or a global trap? The dragon's trade dilemma. Vietnam, a manufacturing titan forged in the crucible of global supply chains, faces a storm in 2025. The U.S., its largest export market, has unleashed a tariff barrage under President Donald Trump's second term, slapping a 46% duty on Vietnamese goods before a partial reprieve to 10% in April 2025. These tariffs, rooted in Trump's Liberation Day trade offensive, aim to curb trade deficits but threaten Vietnam's export-driven economy, which accounts for 90% of its GDP. With $123 billion in exports to the U.S. in 2024, Vietnam's factories, churning out Nike sneakers, Apple watches, and Adidas apparel, face a precarious future. Meet Linh, a 28-year-old factory worker in Hai Phong. Her nimble fingers assemble iPads, her dreams tied to Vietnam's export boom. "We thought America was our partner," she says, her voice tinged with betrayal. "Now every tariff feels like a wall between my work and my future." Linh's story echoes across Vietnam's industrial zones, where 50% of Nike's footwear and 20% of Apple's iPads are made. The 46% tariff, briefly imposed, could have slashed 5.5% of Vietnam's GDP, a devastating blow to a nation aiming for 8% annual growth by 2045. A diplomatic dance or a deceptive trap? Philosophically, tariffs are a double-edged sword, a tool for sovereignty or a trap for global chaos. Trump's advisor Peter Navarro calls Vietnam a worst offender in trade imbalances, dismissing Hanoi's offer to zero out tariffs on U.S. goods as insufficient. Yet Vietnam's bamboo diplomacy, balancing ties with the U.S., China, and ASEAN, has won a temporary reprieve. Deputy Prime Minister Ho Duc Phoc's delegation to Washington secured a 90-day window to negotiate, cutting tariffs on U.S. LNG, cars, and ethanol to signal goodwill. But is this a genuine olive branch or a geopolitical feint? The U.S. Court of International Trade's May 2025 ruling declared Trump's IEEPA tariffs unconstitutional, yet they persist pending appeal. Economists warn these tariffs, raising $755 billion over a decade, burden U.S. consumers with $300 per household in added costs. For Vietnam, the stakes are existential. "We're not just a factory for the world," says economist Tuan Chu of RMIT University, Vietnam. "We're a nation betting on trade to become a tech hub. Tariffs could choke that dream." The China conundrum, Vietnam's vulnerability, is compounded by its reliance on Chinese inputs, hit by a 125% U.S. tariff. As a China Plus One hub, Vietnam absorbed manufacturing from firms like Samsung and Apple fleeing U.S.-China trade wars. Yet, China's 34% retaliatory tariff on U.S. goods complicates Vietnam's supply chains, as Chinese components fuel its exports. Xi Jinping's 2025 Hanoi visit, urging free trade against U.S. protectionism, underscores Vietnam's delicate balancing act. "We're caught between two giants," says Han, a Hanoi trade analyst. "Pleasing America risks angering China, our biggest neighbor." Philosophically, this is a Hegelian dialectic: thesis, U.S. tariffs; antithesis, China's influence; and Vietnam's synthesis, a nimble, pragmatic diplomacy. But can bamboo bend without breaking? The tariffs expose a deeper truth. Global trade is no neutral game, but a battlefield of power. Vietnam, with its 18.5 billion in FDI, must navigate this minefield to preserve its economic roar. Cambodia-Thailand conflict, ripples of chaos, a border in flames. Across Vietnam's western border, the Cambodia-Thailand conflict of 2025 sends shockwaves. Once allies under Hun Sen and Thaksin Shinawatra, the two nations clashed after a leaked call sparked political turmoil, leading to artillery fire and airstrikes. 43 lives lost, 300,000 displaced. This violence threatens Southeast Asia's fragile stability. For Vietnam, a key ASEAN player, the conflict disrupts trade and tourism, endangering its economic ambitions. Meet So Van, a Cambodian refugee now in Ho Chi Minh City. "I fled Preah Vihear with nothing but my daughter," she says, tears staining her face. "The bombs didn't care about our dreams." Her story reflects the human toll of a conflict rooted in historical border disputes, now inflamed by political egos. Thailand's tourism, a $50 billion industry, faces a 20% booking drop post-conflict, with safety fears deterring European visitors. Cambodia's garment sector, employing 750,000, risks collapse under U.S. tariffs of 49%, threatening jobs for the poorest. Vietnam's economic and safety stakes. Vietnam, with its $30 billion trade surplus with ASEAN, feels the ripple effects. The conflict disrupts cross-border trade, particularly in rice and textiles, key Vietnamese exports. Port congestion at Cai Mep Thi Vai, Vietnam's trade hub, worsens as Thai and Cambodian goods face delays. Safety concerns also hit Vietnam's tourism, with 19 million visitors in 2024 now wary of regional instability. "Tourists see one country burn and think the whole region's unsafe," says Mai, a Hanoi tour guide. "My bookings are down 15%. Philosophically, conflict is a mirror, reflecting humanity's failure to transcend tribalism. Vietnam, with its 4-no defense policy, no alliances, no foreign bases, no force, no alignment, treads carefully, mediating via ASEAN while protecting its borders. Yet the dragon's roar falters when neighbors bleed. Can Vietnam shield its people and economy from this chaos? From gasoline to green, the electric revolution, the shift to electric vehicles. Vietnam's streets, once choked with motorbike fumes, are electrifying. VinFast, the nation's auto giant, leads a push to convert gasoline vehicles to electric, with 100,000 EVs on roads by 2025. Factories in Hai Phong hum, producing sleek VF E34 models for global markets. "EVs are our future," says Min, a VinFast engineer. "Gasoline is history." Yet U.S. tariffs on Vietnamese EVs, now at 10% but potentially rising, threaten this green dream. The government's push for E5 and E10 biofuels, blending ethanol with gasoline, aims to cut emissions. Taxes on 95-octane gasoline have risen 5%, nudging drivers toward E5, now used by 30% of vehicles. But challenges abound. Rural stations lack E5 pumps, and consumer skepticism persists. "E5 feels weaker," says Thuy, a Hanoi driver. "I trust gasoline more." Philosophically, this shift is a Kantian imperative. Act for the planet's good, not just profit. Yet economic pressures test Vietnam's resolve. Infrastructure and global stakes. VinFast's $4 billion factory in North Carolina, a hedge against U.S. tariffs, underscores Vietnam's global ambitions. But domestic charging infrastructure lags, with only 2,000 stations nationwide. The government's $2 billion EV subsidy plan aims to bridge this gap by 2030, but tariffs could divert funds. Meanwhile, China's EV dominance, supplying 60% of Vietnam's batteries, ties Hanoi to Beijing's orbit, complicating its U.S. relations. This green revolution is Vietnam's dragon awakening. Bold, yet vulnerable. Can it soar without being grounded by trade wars or infrastructure woes? Vietnam's tourism tapestry, landscapes, cuisine, and soul-breathtaking destinations. Vietnam's beauty is a siren's call. Ha Long Bay, a UNESCO gem, dazzles with 1/600 limestone karsts rising from turquoise waters, hosting 7 million visitors in 2024. Sapa's terraced rice fields kissed by mist draw trekkers seeking Hmong culture. Hoi An's lantern-lit ancient town with its golden facades enchants 3 million annually. Hoi An feels like a dream, says Emma, a French tourist. Every corner tells a story. Phu Quoc's white sand beaches rival the Maldives, while Hanoi's Ho An Kiem Lake pulses with urban charm. Da Nang's Golden Bridge, held by giant stone hands, went viral with 10 million Instagram posts in 2024. These destinations, paired with Vietnam's $30 billion tourism revenue, make it a global magnet. Yet, regional conflicts and tariff fears threaten this boom. Safety is everything, says Mai. One bad headline can empty hotels. Culinary alchemy. Vietnam's cuisine is its heartbeat. Pho's fragrant broth, banh mi's crusty perfection, and Goi Quan's fresh rolls seduce taste buds worldwide. Street stalls in Ho Chi Minh City serve 10 million meals daily, blending French, Chinese, and Khmer influences. Pho is love, says Carlos, a U.S. tourist slurping noodles in Hanoi. It's simple, but profound. Michelin's 2024 guide awarded stars to 3 Hanoi restaurants, cementing Vietnam's culinary cred. Food tourism drives 25% of visitor spending, with cooking classes in Hoi An and Hanoi booming. Yet, tariffs raise import costs for ingredients like U.S. beef, pushing prices up 10%. Philosophically, cuisine is Vietnam's soft power, a universal language transcending borders. Can it keep drawing crowds amid economic storms? Infrastructure and ambition, high-speed rail and southern connectivity. Vietnam's dragon roars through its infrastructure dreams. A $67 billion high-speed rail project linking Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh City by 2035 promises to cut travel time from 30 hours to 5. This 1,500-kilometer line, funded partly by Japan, will connect 20 provinces, boosting tourism and trade. This rail is our spine, says Tran, a planner in Hanoi. It binds our nation. The Southern Corridor, linking Ho Chi Minh City to Thuy Port, handles 40% of Vietnam's exports. Upgrades to this port, including smart technology, make it ASEAN's first smart deep-sea port. Yet U.S. tariffs and regional conflicts strain its efficiency, with container delays up 15% in 2025. Safety is paramount. Vietnam's 2024 port security upgrades, including AI surveillance, aim to curb smuggling and ensure trade flows. Trade with China, a double-edged sword. China, Vietnam's largest trading partner, accounts for $110 billion in annual trade. The Haiphong port's proximity to China fuels this exchange, but South China Sea disputes cast a shadow. Vietnam's 4-No policy avoids confrontation, yet Chinese investments in energy raise sovereignty concerns. We trade with China, but we guard our soul, says diplomat Le. Philosophically, this is a Taoist balance, harmony through vigilance. Can Vietnam maintain it? The setback, the dragon's soul, a philosophical reflection. Vietnam is no mere nation, it is a living paradox. Its dragons sleep in ancient myths, yet roar in factories, ports, and streets. The U.S. tariffs test its economic resilience, while Cambodia-Thailand conflicts challenge its regional stability. The shift to EVs and biofuels signals a green awakening, yet infrastructure lags. Its tourism and cuisine captivate the world, but global uncertainties loom. The high-speed rail and smart ports embody its ambition, yet China's shadow demands caution. Meet Thuy, a 22-year-old coder in Da Nang. Phu invites you to witness this saga. Like, subscribe, and comment. What fuels Vietnam's fire? Its past, its people, or its promise? The global call. Why Vietnam matters. Vietnam's story is not just its own. It's a mirror for the world. Its tariff struggles reflect global trade's fragility. Its green shift challenges us to rethink sustainability. Its tourism and cuisine remind us of beauty's power to unite. Its infrastructure dreams inspire nations to build boldly. Around the Globe, Phu is your lens into this epic, a channel that doesn't just show the world but makes you feel its pulse. As Vietnam navigates 2025 storms, it asks, can a dragon soar without burning its wings? Hit the bell, join the journey, and let's discover together. Mas al Khair.